If you are an accountant who has been struggling with sales and marketing, then this video is going to be an absolute game changer for your firm. Because most accountants, as you know, they are really good with numbers, but they struggle with the sales and marketing. They actually do not realize that there are simply a few numbers that you need to get right in your sales and marketing to build a predictable flow of new appointments and a predictable system to convert those appointments into new, higher revenue, monthly paying CFO, bookkeeping, accounting, or tax clients. Because there are just a couple of numbers that you need to get right and that you need to understand how to get right, then everything will fall into place. And in this video, I'm going to give you the numbers that you need to get right from a sales and marketing perspective, but most importantly, how to actually get them right so that you can book appointments and actually can convert appointments into new clients. So I will share my screen and I will share them with you right now. So the very first thing that you need to understand if you want to build a sales and marketing system is that your sales and marketing system is built up from specific different processes. So if you say, I am not good at sales and marketing, it's not that you are not good at sales and marketing entirely. There is a part in the sales and marketing system that you are not good at. And that's totally fine, right? Not everybody is good at everything. So the thing is that your sales and marketing process is built up from three major processes. It's the appointment booking process, appointment show up process, and sales. Okay, this is just to get clients. Pricing and everything and maintaining clients is something totally different. But this is all that you really have to optimize, the three processes that you have to optimize to get new clients. Is booking appointments, making sure they show up, and making sure that you convert them. So what I want you to do right now is, okay, you are watching this video because you want to build a sales and marketing process, but you need to understand what part of sales and marketing is the thing that you need to improve. Is it booking meetings? Is it that meetings aren't showing up, or is it that they show up but they are not converting? Now, in this video, I'm going to give you metrics per process. Okay, so remember that I said every single thing, there are three processes, right? Booking appointments, making sure they show up, making sure you convert them. Within every process, there is a different process. So there is a process with making sure people click, making sure they convert, making sure that they, after converting, book a meeting. So from the appointment booking system and process, essentially, there are different processes. And even with making sure people click, which this part over here, I will dive into this a little later, but even in here, there are other processes. It's the process of creating the creative, the photos. It's the process of copywriting and the process of targeting. And with targeting, there are different processes. Okay, so if you want to improve your sales and marketing and get more clients, you need to look not at the whole system. You need to look at which process is lacking. Okay, booking meetings. Which part of booking meetings is the thing that is lacking right now? And of course, you can only really know if something is lacking if you track it and have a number with it. And this is where you as an accountant have a very big head start as with the other markets like real estate or whatever market you are essentially talk about. And the reason is you already like to work with numbers. Marketing and sales can be translated to numbers and metrics. So I'm going to give you specific numbers and metrics that you need to hit to actually build a good sales and marketing process. So booking appointments, okay? Pause this video if you haven't figured out what the problem is in your sales and marketing process at this moment. Okay, so right now you need to know, okay, well, I do not book meetings, they do not show up or they don't close, okay? So now continue. In terms of booking meetings, I will focus on two main things. Outreach. This is messaging people on social media, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, TikTok, X or Twitter, and paid advertising. Now, to keep it simple, if you have money to spend, at least $1,000, $1,500 a month, go with ads. If not, go with outreach. Let's keep it simple. Then, let's say that you want to book meetings with ads. Okay, so this is the third main process of sales and marketing. This is going to be existing of different processes. So this is the clicking part. CTR stands for click-through rate. Out of 1,000 people, at least 15 need to click. Okay, that's the 1.5 click-through rate. This is the number that you need to hit. We are going to work with numbers so that you as an accountant will have a bigger chance of making this work and staying consistent at it. Okay, so the click-through rate is the percentage of people that see and click. Now, click-through rate is important as you pay for impressions. With this part, I'm going to mainly talk about meta advertising, but let's say that you run ads on LinkedIn, TikTok, X, you pay for impressions, okay? So if you have a higher click-through rate, so more people per 1,000 impressions are going to click, your cost per click will go down. Okay, so this is why click-through rate is important, and this is the very first thing of paid advertising that you need to understand. This is the very first step, and step one is the main thing, because that will become the bottleneck if you haven't optimized it. So this is why it's just very important that you truly know, okay, well, what is the thing that is holding me back right now? Because if you don't know what is holding you back, you cannot improve it. So look at which part of the process you suck at, for lack of better terms, and then look which part of the process is the thing that I need to improve. Is it my click-through rate? This is where you start. And the reason you start here is because the prospect will start here. So look at the click-through rate from your ads, and I will dive into outreach later on, and think, okay, is it my creative, copy, or targeting? Then start doing a little bit of research on how to improve copy, creative, and targeting so that you can get this in KPI. Now, if this is in KPI already, then you move to the next part of the process, which is then, are the people that are clicking even converting, which is the landing page. So now you can see it's just kind of a checklist. You just kind of gamify the checklist. You just look at, okay, I don't have a good sales and marketing process right now. Which part of the sales and marketing process is the thing that I need to improve? Is it booking meetings, showing up, or converting them? Okay, it's booking meetings. Let's say that you do ads. Again, we'll go into outreach later on. Okay, we do ads. What is the thing about the ads that is not working? Is it the click-through rate? Is it that the cost per click is high? Is it that people, LP conversion, stands for landing page conversion. Is it the case that people are clicking but not converting? Is it the case that our cost per lead is too high? Okay, why is the cost per lead high? Is it because of the click-through rate or conversion rate? So you can just look at every single little process within the main system and then optimize it and tie a number to it. Okay, so click-through rate. If your click-through rate from your ads right now are below 1%, you are in trouble and you need to improve. You improve your click-through rate by creating better creatives. This is the 80% of the 20. So like the 80-20% rule. This is the 80%. This is also important, don't get me wrong, but if your creative is right, especially with meta ads, the targeting will be 9 times out of 10 be done for you with their AI. And the copy, it is important, but as long as you make sure that the copy is aligned with your creative, you will be fine. Because they stop and click because something about the creative got their attention. Just make sure that you elaborate a little bit on what you talked about in the creative, and then they tend to click. This needs to be 1.5-ish, at least above 1%. So what you then need to do, okay, I'm not booking meetings. In my appointment booking process, I look at the very first thing, which is click-through rate. This is in KPI. Okay, then you already have your checklist and think, okay, check, this is done. What is next? The cost per click is affected by the market, but also your click-through rate. As I said, you pay for impressions. If you have a higher click-through rate, then your cost per click will be lower. This is also very niche depending. As for example, in the dental space, I have a few clients of mine, accountants that work with dentists. The cost per click is a little higher there, but the people that we are getting the leads all make like 2-3 million a year, and they can really use the services. So cost per click is less important, because if the platforms charge more for the impressions, typically means that this is more valuable, and that's totally fine. But yeah, this is depending on the market and niche, but also the click-through rate. Just make sure that this one is in KPI. But this is one of the metrics that you can look at. Sometimes cost per clicks are high because they don't like your ads, but then typically the platform does not like your ad, and it will reflect in the click-through rate. Okay, so now consider that this is in KPI. If not, what you then want to do is do some research. Okay, how can I make better creative? How can I make better copy? How can I improve targeting? But you first need to kind of like diagnose what the thing in your process is that you need to improve. And this is the reason why I'm recording this video, because if you realize that sales and marketing is all about optimizing different processes within different processes and diagnosing which part of the process you need to improve by actually tying a metric to it and understanding how you can improve this metric. Then you crack the code. It's all about optimizing different parts of the process, and you optimize it by knowing how to improve a specific metric. And if you can actually improve a metric, you know, oh, we are making progress right now, and then you can actually optimize something. It's all about fixing bottlenecks. Okay, now then, if this is in KPI, go to your landing page conversion rate. If you just work with lead forms, so either on a landing page or an actual form which is from the platform itself, like with Facebook it's called an instant form, was called a lead form. But if you use normal forms, 5 to 10%, that's really what you need to strive for. You can definitely get it above 10%, but this is also going to depend on how hard you are qualifying. If you only ask for full name, email, phone number, then your landing page conversion rate will be higher, but the lead quality will be lower because there's less intent. And if you are going to qualify very hard, so you're going to ask for full name, email, phone number, business name, yearly revenue, amount of employees, industry, main pain points right now in the business, main issues, then the lead quality will be extremely high because someone is really motivated because they fill in so much information, but your conversion rate is going to drop. So you need to find the balance with that. But for your landing page conversion rate, check over here. If you are qualifying leads very hard, above 5% will be great. If you do not qualify that much, above 10% will be ideal. So to check out right now, if you decide to run ads, okay, check, well, I'm converting at 2% and I'm not qualifying leads, then it's your landing page conversion rate. I'm not going to dive into how to improve your landing page conversion rate, because then I have to do it with all of the bars here, and this will be like a 24-hour long video. But I've recorded other videos on this already, which you can just check out. If you're not running ads, again, I will dive into outreach later on in the video. So check over here. This process is done. Your click-through rates are fine. Landing page is below KPI. Now you know the bottleneck. And it can literally be the case that you are not bad at sales or marketing at all. It can be the case that you have great ads, that you have a great follow-up system to convert leads to bookings, and that your show-up sequence is amazing and that you're amazing at sales. But literally it can be the case that your landing page is just the problem. And if the landing page is the problem, you're not going to book meetings, okay? So let go of this whole self-image of I am an accountant and I'm not good at sales or marketing in general. There is literally a chance that there is just a very small part in this whole sales and marketing system that you are not good at, which might just be that you are not good at copywriting. You spend a few weeks doing good copywriting, problem solved. All of a sudden you are good at sales and marketing. But there is this case that the beginning of the process is not optimized, and then this is the bottleneck here. If this stuff here is the bottleneck, then this is also not going to work out because there's no volume in here. You cannot actually get enough data. So make sure you optimize this over here. Now, if your landing page conversion rate is below KPI, if you are qualifying hard, about 5%. If you're not qualifying at all, just name, email, phone number, above 10%. You can just do research on landing page conversion rates. You just need to make sure your landing page is similar to the actual ad, and that they actually want to have the offer, and it's simple, not complex. Okay. Now then check out over here, what is my cost per lead? Cost per lead is mainly impacted by your cost per click and landing page conversion rate. Cost per click is impacted by the market and the click-through rate. If you want to get a lower cost per click, improve your landing page and improve your click-through rate, because click-through rate is resulting in cost per click. Okay. Or essentially click-through rate is impacting the cost per click rather. So if your cost per lead is too high, there's nothing like a cost per lead that's too low, because you want to get it as low as possible. But if your cost per lead is not in KPI, and I'm not going to give you a specific number because this is very niche depending. If your cost per lead is like way too high, then it's time to check what is my landing page conversion rate and what is my click-through rate. If this one is in KPI and this one is also in KPI, this should also be in KPI, because that it means that your cost per click is decent, you are converting enough people, then the cost per lead should also be fine. And if you then think, hey, but my cost per lead is actually not fine, then you are probably wrong, because that's just the market, how it works then. By then, if your cost per lead is too high, in your opinion, but your click-through rate is above 1.5%, and let's say that you are converting with the landing page at like 15%, that's just the market then, okay? So then what you want to do, let's say that all of this is in KPI. I'm just giving examples here so that you understand the way of thinking. Let's say that this part of the process in KPI, then a possible reason why your appointment booking system is not working is because leads are not booking meetings, okay? And this is affected by the lead quality, but also the nurturing. So I'm saying it's all about numbers, but there's also a dynamic part of sales and marketing. That is where lead quality comes in. You need to find the balance between qualifying leads with the landing page and having a low cost per lead, but also quality. Because the thing is, you can have a cost per lead of, let's say, $1, but the quality can be very low, and then only 10% books a meeting. Well, if the cost per lead goes to $2 and 20% books a meeting, in my opinion, that's better. Although that you book the same amount of meetings, there's less work required. So the overall margins will be higher because you have to pay your virtual assistant less, or you have to send less emails, less SMS messages and calls. So this is better. So as an example with lead quality, I will give you an example for my company. Right now, we are running meta ads, and we say, this is not me trying to sell you something, and we say we guarantee you 5 clients. Like, that's our guarantee with the company. But we see, like, we book a lot of meetings with it because it's a great offer, and we've been doing this for a long time. But we do see that sometimes people join calls where they think, it's just a commission thing. Like, you have clients already, you are an accounting firm, and then I can buy a client. Is that how it works? That's not how it works. I don't want to pitch you, so I'm not going to explain how it works. But then the lead quality isn't ideal because they have the wrong expectations. But we have lots of leads and lots of bookings. So you need to find a balance between, okay, I'm making the decision to pay more per appointment to increase the quality. And if the quality increases, more people will show up and more people will convert. But you need to understand the dynamic first, and you need to understand that every single part of the system is going to relate to each other. So, for example, we have seen a drop in sales conversion rates. It's probably because of the lead quality thing. I'm not going to make a change in my sales process because it's the thing earlier in the sales and marketing system. It's a part of the process that is probably resulting in a dip in conversions from sales. So hopefully this makes sense because it's important, right? I'm saying sales and marketing isn't about numbers, which is true, and they do absolutely relate, but you also need to understand that even with that claim, there is also a balance where there are absolutely things that are a little bit more dynamic. The great thing, I don't want to go into big of a rant because I can talk about sales and marketing forever, but with lead quality, you can even tie a number to it by actually tracking the quality. More on this a little later. So it can actually be gamified, and you can actually put a metric with it. But let's move on. Lead quality to appointment rate. So from the leads, from the form submissions, how many people, what percentage of people actually book a meeting? Now, this is in terms of lead quality. You can imagine if someone needs to verify their phone number with an SMS, they need to fill in 5 qualifying questions, then the lead quality will increase and they will be more aware of what they sign up for and that they want to book a meeting. The thing is though, even if you have the best quality leads, if it takes a week for you to call someone, they're not going to remember what it is about. You need to actually call them within 5 minutes. So lead nurturing then also plays a role in converting leads to appointments. Around 20% needs to book a meeting. And again, this is a KPI. This can be different for you. Because if you have very cheap leads that are not great quality, but you only book the qualified appointments, so it's not going to result in a low conversion rate, then it's still fine to have a lead to appointment rate of 10%. As long as it financially makes sense and as long as you do not book the low quality people. So the main generic goal is 20%, okay? So look at your appointment booking system if you are running ads And you don't necessarily have to run ads through outreach to get the lessons out of this video, by the way. But let's say that you're going to run ads, then you need to look at what percentage of people that submit a form and become a lead book a meeting. It's around 20%. Let's say that all of the parts of the system are below KPI. You need to look at what is the main thing and what gives me the highest leverage. So do not change multiple things at the same time. So for example, with me, where we had the lead quality issue, which results in lower conversion rates. If I was going to change my sales process as well as my angles that I take with the ads and how I position my services, then I don't know what caused the increase or decrease in results. So you have to remember that. That's an important part, that you do not test two things at the same time. For example, if you are going to make your own pizzas, right? You have your first pizza that you make and it was not great. You want to improve something. So you want to build the best pizza ever. But if you are going to change the type of sauce as well as the cheese, then you don't really know what caused the increase or improvement in the taste, right? You need to change one variable and think, okay, well, this was better. Same thing with, for example, wine. You change one grape, not the whole location of like the where you make the wine, right? You make small changes to make sure that you know what caused the increase or decrease in results. So then look at the overall system and then think, what will give me the highest leverage? Typically it's the start over here, but if this one is at 0.9%, still below KPI, but your landing page conversion rate is literally like 1%, then I will pick the landing page because that's the thing that's lacking most, okay? So then if your appointment book system with ads is not in KPI right now, this is for every single part of sales and marketing, by the way, but if this one is not in KPI, look at all of the systems, check, okay, well, everything is outside of KPI right now, but only change one thing at a time. So I'm going to look at what is the thing that is the lowest right now and what is the thing that's giving me the highest leverage. So as an example, and this is where the dynamicness of sales and marketing comes in. Let's stick with the example that your click-through rate is 0.9% and your landing page conversion rate is at 2 or 1%. You could say, okay, well, this needs to have the highest increase, right? But if you already know for sure how to get this to 1.5%, because, for example, you made a typo in your copy or creative, then it's probably easier to get this one up, and it will probably only take you one iteration to get there. So then it makes sense to actually go with the ads and get the click-through rate up. So it's very dynamic in the sense of you need to make decisions and things are connected to each other, but you can also look at the numbers and keep in mind what the leverage is. Now, if everything is in KPI, you should have a profitable cost per appointment. The cost per appointment is affected by all of the above, right? It's about the click-through rate, the cost per click, the landing page conversion rate, the cost per lead, and then what percentage of leads actually book a meeting. I'm not going to give you a cost per appointment KPI because it is very depending on services, niche. So it's, yeah, this is something that is totally depending on what you are selling and to who you are selling. So this is kind of how it works with the ads. I'm going to give you an example with outreach right now, but the principles, they stay the same. So let's go to outreach. It's a little simpler. Also with outreach, it's the same thing, by the way. It's all about, it is still connected. If you, for example, do outreach, so sending messages on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and you tell people, hey, I can save you $10,000 on tax, and that they show up to your appointment and you talk about bookkeeping, right? Then it's not going to give you an ROI. Those metrics over here can be great, but you need to realize that there is a connection between the outreach that you do, but also between the outreach and the sales conversion rate. So for example, when we were doing the Facebook and LinkedIn outreach to accountants from my company's perspective, I've looked at the data and I saw that the conversion rate from people from LinkedIn was a little bit higher. Okay, so for whatever reason, it was higher. So then it made sense to actually look at the data. Cool. Okay, let's scale the LinkedIn outreach. There is a connection between outreach and ads and the sales. Okay, but let's go back over here. Let's say that you're doing outreach on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, whatever platform, cold email. This is mainly based on Facebook and LinkedIn outreach, the goals, the KPIs here. But let's say that your appointment booking process from the outreach perspective is not booking enough meetings. The very first thing you want to do is look at the request approval rate. We only message people if they accept our connection or friend request. And this part of the process, so this is what the video is about, right? It's not about how to optimize ads or outreach. It's about understanding that your sales and marketing process exists of different processes, which then also exists of different processes. So this is part of the process from an appointment booking process, sending Facebook and LinkedIn connection requests. We only send a message if someone approved our request. Otherwise, they will probably not even see it. Now, if this one is not 15%, which is out of KPI, it's because of the profile or targeting. If you are targeting plumbers, you want to do the books and the taxes for plumbing companies. If your profile then says we work with law firms, they are probably not going to accept your request. If you want to work with plumbers and your profile is optimized for plumbers, but you are sending it to law firms, it's the same thing. So profile targeting needs to be optimized and 15%. Okay, now if you have this metric right now, right, you have the data, then go to the next one, info sent. So, okay, we messaged someone, they accepted our request, and now we can send the info. So now this part of the process is in KPI. Maybe it's just that we are messaging people, but that they do not even want to send the info. The way that our process works is that we're not like very salesy there. We just say, hey, we can get you this result. For example, the 5 guaranteed clients, would you like me to send some information? Now, if you have a great offer and a good intro message, lots of people will say, okay, well, I like money, why not send over the information? So what you then can do is check, okay, well, the intro message is fine. Is it my follow-ups then? This process, right, is tied to the info sent percentage. And you can increase this percentage here by improving your intro message. So what do you say? And by improving follow-ups. But there's a chance that your intro message is great. Life gets in the way from the person that you are sending the message to. You are now at page 2 of the inbox and they're not going to see it. So you need to be consistent with the follow-up messages. Now, if this one is not 25%, so less than 25% of the people that you message say yes, send info, it's either because of the intro message and follow-ups. And this will give you so much clarity, this way of thinking about sales and marketing, because now at least you know what you need to improve. Now you can remove the label of I'm not good at sales and marketing because I'm an accountant. No, it's because the intro message that you are sending is not good, or it's because you are not sending follow-ups. You can be great at sales. You can actually also be great at appointment booking, but the intro message is not good. Or it's just because you're not following up on the leads. This will give you a lot of clarity, this way of thinking. Now, okay, cool. Then you do some research. Okay, how do I make a good intro message? How can I send good follow-ups? This should be in KPI. Okay, then zoom out again. I'm still not making enough money with sales and marketing. What is it? Then you go to the next part, because this is now in KPI. Check, okay, from the people that I sent the info to, what percentage of them actually want to book a meeting, and what percentage of them do I send my scheduler to, my appointment booking link, my calendar link. So it'll be about 10% of the total people that you messaged, by the way. So if you sent 100 friend requests, 10% of the people accepted the request should get the scheduler. So it's actually, yeah, so from like the total people that you message, the percentage is over here. So scheduler sent, if this one is out of KPI, it can be because of the follow-ups. Again, follow-ups are crucial. It can be because of the reason that someone said yes, send over the info, but you send it a week later, or because the info just sucks. If you only send like 2 sentences of info, we do bookkeeping for plumbers, and they like it, nobody's going to say, okay, yeah, I'm interested to learn more. No, like let's say that you send those 2 sentences as your info in 2 minutes, and you have great follow-ups, but still this is not a KPI, then it is because the info just sucks. So this will give you again clarity. Oh, okay, yeah. So I've came to the conclusion that my appointment booking process is not good enough. I've came to the conclusion that this is good. This is in KPI. I came to the conclusion that my scheduler send rate is too low. And my scheduler send rate is too low because either the follow-ups, the speed of replying, and the info. Then you looked at this part of the process. You looked at speed, which is fine. You reply within a few minutes. You look at the follow-ups, you are consistent. Okay, it's the info I sent. Then you make some iterations of the info, and you will see this is going to get a KPI. This is the goal of the video, making you realize that everything is a process within a process within a process. And as long as you can tie a metric to this part of the process, as long as you understand what is impacting this metric, then you can actually improve your sales and marketing process. Now, and then if you send a scheduler, what percentage actually books a meeting? About 5%. So 50% of the people that you send the scheduler to should book. So 5% of the overall people that got the message and 50% of the people that got the scheduler. This is built up from all of the variables over here. So from the profile to the targeting to the intro message to the info that you send to the speed to all of the follow-ups. Okay, so if you, by now, in terms of your whole process, in terms of your whole journey of fixing your appointment booking systems, by now you should be booking meetings. Okay, you made the conclusion that your appointment booking system is not in KPI. You broken down your appointment booking system into different processes. You tied your metric to the process. You know how to improve the metric. Okay, it can take a few weeks or maybe even months before this is fixed, depending on if you watch my videos. No, just joking. Yeah, this should now be fixed. Okay, you've taken the time, you have done some research, and you fixed the KPIs. And because you were fixing the KPIs and the metrics, you're now booking meetings. If you then see, okay, well, I'm still not making lots of money, I'm still not getting lots of clients, it's still not making sense from a financial or time perspective to keep the system going, and you came to the conclusion that the appointment booking system is fine, your booking meetings still take quality into account, but in general, that should be pretty clear, that it's maybe because the appointments are not showing up. You can have a low show-up rate because you don't have the right reminders, you book meetings too far out, or you do not add enough friction in the booking process. This one is pretty simple. You need a show-up rate of at least 60% from the ads and outreach. You will get there by sending at least 3 reminders, 3 SMS messages, by calling them the day before and by calling them to confirm the meeting and by also reminding them on other platforms. Sounds extreme, maybe it is extreme, but we get extreme results. Then time before appointment. We schedule appointments for about 5 days out. You can imagine I always like to think in extremes to get to the root cause of a problem and to kind of see the overall picture and the impact certain things have. Imagine that if you book meetings a year out, will people still show up? Probably not. A month out, will they still show up? Maybe, but not that many. A week out, will lots of people show up? A little bit more. An hour out, will they show up? Probably yes. So this is a principle. And again, you need to find the right balance. We pick 5 days. Ideally, you want to go for like 4 or 3. But of course, with the weekend in there, if you maybe do not take appointments, then you need to give them some more room to book. And then friction. Let's say that you only ask for email, phone number, and name. And this information is automatically filled in by the platform, which is the case with a lead form on Facebook. With Facebook ads, you can let people fill in the form within the platform itself, and that automation will be filled in automatically by Facebook itself. If you have such a way of booking meetings with low friction, meaning that someone can literally book a meeting with like 5 clicks, and they are doing this at like 3 a.m. on a Saturday night because they cannot sleep, they are probably not going to remember that they booked the meeting. So adding friction will help. And then you should get to the 60%. This one is a little easier. And there you have to understand that processes are different because you cannot tie a percentage to the reminder. You can maybe tie like a score to it, like I will rate it a 5 out of 10. But there is not a KPI that you will get from a platform, and it's not necessarily data that you can get. The way that you optimize this though is by making one iteration at a time. So if let's say that this is 50%, which is quite low, then check the reminders first. Am I sending a confirmation? Am I emailing 3 days before, 2 days before, 1 day before, maybe even an hour before? Am I doing the SMS reminders? Am I doing the calling to confirm and the calling the day before? Am I reminding them on all platforms? If that's yes, then it's probably because you are scheduling them too far out. If that's not the case, it's friction. But 9 times out of 10, or actually 99.999% of the times, this should do it. Okay? If this is still too low, can maybe because of bad targeting, but people tend to not book meetings if they are not targeted, and they probably also tend to communicate with you, hey, oh, I thought that this was about marketing instead of taxes and accounting. But this will do the heavy lifting. Make sure you have the quote-unquote extreme reminders. Don't book them too far out, and don't have zero friction. You want to have a little bit of friction in there to increase the intent. Now, okay, this is process number 1, kind of like the main process number 1 in terms of sales and marketing. This is process number 2. This is how you improve the appointment show-ups, okay? If you have a low show-up rate, below 60% from colder traffic, referrals, this should be like 90%. But I'm assuming already that you have referrals come in. Most accountants, they just want to have a second source of clients because referrals is slow, unpredictable, and sometimes referrals get you the same type of clients, which if you want to get different types of clients, you need a second way to book meetings. So considering that you book meetings right now, you fix those metrics here. Considering that you've done this and you have a show-up rate of about 60%, ideally like 70, 80. If you are still not getting clients, it cannot be any of these systems here. Certain dynamic things like lead quality can cause a lower conversion rate, but in the grand scheme of things, this is now check. You've broken down your sales and marketing system into different processes, and these different processes are all check. Then it's sales. And again, this will give you lots of clarity. You need to get data on this, by the way. I recorded different videos. I think I gave a spreadsheet also in a video about sales. And this is also where the fit percentage or quality comes from. Okay, so now appointment booking system, check. Show up system, check. It's sales. Your sales conversion rate is too low. That's why you are not getting any of clients. If someone books a meeting but they don't convert, it can be either any of those little processes over here. So fit rate or quality rate. If you work with plumbing companies doing $500,000 a year, and you only talk to plumbing companies that are doing $100,000 a year, you need to qualify them better. Targeting is fine in terms of it's the right company, right industry. You just need to make sure that you qualify leads harder and give feedback to the people that are doing the outreaches, or give feedback to the platform so the algorithm can optimize. This should be 90%. 90% of the people that book a meeting should be fit or qualified. Then if this one is below KPI, start improving targeting, do research on targeting, or start qualifying. This should increase. Then disco to pitch means discovery phase of the sales meeting, where you are going to ask questions to pitch. This should be 95%. Typically, if someone is a fit and you have them on the discovery, you are asking questions. 9 times out of 10, you should be also pitching them. If this is low, it can be targeting. Like maybe the algorithm is optimizing for people that actually are in the plumbing space, make $500,000, but for some reason they are just not your fit from like a personal perspective. It's harder to optimize because it's hard to tell the algorithm to do this, but you can actually optimize targeting with qualifying. Just feed better data to platforms like Meta or your setters, but start qualifying harder and have a better discovery phase. This is typically 95% or at least 90% if people are fit. I'll not spend too much time on this. Then the pitch to objections. If you've done the pitch, unless someone says, no, I'm not going to do it, then that's like the 5% that we are missing here. But typically if someone is hearing your pitch, they will either say yes, no, I will think about it, and then you can handle the objections. This should be 95%. And then close rate. This is the big one. This has to do with like the whole sales process, right? So all the variables combined. So this over here. So what is the quality of the people that show up? Do I have a good discovery and a good pitch, and do I have good objections? The thing is that it is very dynamic also with sales. You can have a really good discovery and a bad pitch, and then people don't buy. But the thing is that you cannot really track your pitch in terms of performance. You can of course track, okay, well, people, they hear my pitch, but if you have a very bad pitch, people do not fall off after the pitch. Your pitch to objection percentage can still be high, but your closing rates can be low. So then you need to zoom out and you need to look at the dynamics. What part of my sales process, my meetings that I have with people, is bad right now? You research, you make a conclusion, you improve. But this is how to think of sales and marketing as an accountant. You just need to realize that you are not bad at sales or marketing. There are parts of the sales or marketing process that you did not figure out yet. You can probably say, but it's probably everything. Well, I can guarantee you it's probably not. Because you probably already have a software that is reminding them. This part of the process is probably already figured out. Maybe you are also good at asking questions. I bet you are. So that part of the sales process you figured out. Maybe it's just that you never really optimized the pitch. Maybe you are already good at booking meetings and letting them show up, but it's just the pitch that is the bottleneck. You can literally fix the pitch and then your close rate will be at 30% and you make lots of money because you have a good sales and marketing system. So this is really how to think about sales and marketing. Also a bit of a longer video, but the concept is important and I wanted to give you lots of variables, lots of examples with different variables. So what you need to do right now, take action. Don't be the person that is watching my videos and is not doing the action. I'm assuming that you are watching this because you want to learn something and that you actually want to grow an accounting firm. So what you need to do right now is look at your system and start thinking about my sales and marketing system. Which processes do I need to improve? Tie a metric to it. Do research on how can I improve the metric? What should be KPI? And make sure that you start at the beginning of the customer journey and start checking and fixing metrics. And then your bottleneck might be here, right? It's kind of like the bottleneck here. And then you just replace it and then the last bottleneck removes. And then the water will flow through, or in this term, clients. Actually, let me show you that example. Bottleneck example in process. Yeah, here we go. Right, you need to fix the bottlenecks over here. You have 3 people everywhere, but if you have a bottleneck and only 1 can come through, you are operating at 1/3 of your capability actually. So this is an important process that you understand. What's kind of the goal of this video. Now, if you are an accountant, you want to get some help with this, you want to get more clients, there's a link in the description. It will be above this link. There are actually 2 links. The first link is a link that you can use to get some information about what I do. The second link, you can actually grab this spreadsheet. I really hope that you learned something. If you did, like, subscribe. If you have specific questions, let me know. Really hope this was helpful. I'll see you in the next video.